San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. It is 8 o'clock on this Sunday morning, June 30th. All right, let's check in with Sarah Spivey.
Yeah.
And we have an awesome picture to show everyone.
Before we show the picture, This is Daniela Ibarra. She's one of our wonderful reporters here at KSAT. Happy to have you on the anchor desk this morning.
I'm excited
filling
to be here.
in for Sarah.
Yes.
It's been great. A little bit earlier, I think, than you're used to waking up during the
Way
weekday.
earlier. I don't know how you guys do this.
Lots of coffee. And lots of just pushing through the hours. But let's get back to that picture to get to know Daniela a little bit better. Daniela, tell us who this is.
This is Markle. She's my Chiweenie. I adopted her 5 years ago. She's about 10 years old. You can't tell from that picture. I know it's hard to believe that those aren't her ears, but she has very distinctive ears that are like nice and big. And yeah, she's named after Meghan Markle, the Duchess.
This is also one of the ways that we stay awake is we share cute pictures from our viewers. So thanks for that.
I feel like we could just leave this up for the newscast and people would be like, all right.
Okay, that sounds good. Makes my job easier. All right, outside right now, we have got these puffy cumulus clouds this morning around San Antonio. Take a look at that. It actually looks pretty picturesque out there right now, but it feels very humid. It's 81 degrees in San Antonio with 88% relative humidity. 82 in Del Rio, 75 in Bernie, and 77 in Kerrville. Earlier this morning, there were some areas of sprinkles, but as we've seen the sunrise, really we've just been looking at clearing skies here. So for your forecast today, mostly cloudy this morning. As we head into the afternoon, we'll be looking at mostly sunny skies and another hot day. 98 for the high, feeling like 105, and there's only a 10% chance for a stray shower. It'll be a mild evening. You know, last night really didn't feel too bad once the sun started setting, and that'll be the case tonight, even though it will be very warm. Rain chances, not really going to happen this week. Other than an isolated stray shower today, it's going to be a very dry week. However, beyond Friday and beyond Saturday, we're going to be watching very closely the Gulf of Mexico. Hurricane Beryl, a Category 3 hurricane, is in the Caribbean right now. I've got to look at where Beryl is heading and the potential for what we'll be watching very closely by the weekend, by next weekend, this time next weekend. So an update on Beryl coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you. Sounds good. This morning, we're hearing from a San Antonio family who survived a house fire Friday night, only to lose decades of memories in the fire. Adelita Hernandez was at home laying down and her two sons were asleep when their chimney caught on fire. Neighbors came to their door, warning them to leave and saving their lives. But their home was a total loss.
Anything helps, anything. Clothes, furniture, donations, prayers. Yeah, prayers too, because Lord, she believes in God so much.
The San Antonio Fire Department believes the chimney sparked the fire. The Hernandez's neighbors have been there for them every step of the way. They hope the city will pray for them as they figure out how to move forward. Meanwhile, a permanent memorial to honor the lives lost at Quintana Road more than 2 years ago is now reality. 53 limestone blocks stand for the 53 people who died after being trapped in that hot tractor trailer. Multiple San Antonio city agencies responded to the scene, and what they saw that night still sticks with them 2 years later.
You often hear the words migrants or immigrants or asylum seekers, but most of all, they were human beings. They were mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters. They were people's children.
In addition to that memorial, the city has transformed how it responds to cases of heat stroke and other crises to ensure nothing like this ever happens again, and that those 53 lives lost are never forgotten. All right, to your morning headlines. A Galveston police officer is under investigation after video surfaced of him hitting multiple people, including teenagers, during a birthday party celebration. Witnesses say they were celebrating at an apartment complex when Jared Rivas, an off-duty police officer, came up to the celebration. They say he demanded that all non-residents leave. That's when they say Rivas and a uniformed officer attacked them, injuring 4 people, including a teenage boy and girl. Galveston police say Rivas is on administrative leave and an internal investigation is underway. The driver of this 18-wheeler is dead after it crashed into a home in Mission, Texas. That's about 250 miles away from here in San Antonio. ABC affiliate KRGV reports that it happened when that tractor trailer hit a car on a nearby expressway, then veered off the road into the house. The driver of that car walked away with minor injuries, but the truck driver died at the scene. The The home was empty at the time, so luckily no one was hurt. Police say it'll take many more hours until the truck is removed and the scene is cleared. Just a few days after the New York Times editorial board's call for President Biden to drop out of the 2024 race, the Philadelphia Inquirer's board is doing the same, but for former President Donald Trump. This comes after both candidates faced off in their first debate on Thursday. The board acknowledged President Biden had a horrible night, but it added, quote, Biden on his worst day remains light years better than Trump on his best, end quote. Despite his debate performance, President Biden still raked in millions for his campaign this week. The campaign announced Saturday it raised more than $27 million over debate day and Friday, pulling in more in two fundraisers in New Jersey this weekend. The two-day fundraising haul comes on the heels of Biden raising roughly $40 million over the 5 days earlier this month, which included fundraisers with former Presidents Obama and Clinton. An off-duty lifeguard is being called a hero after saving a family of 7 by himself. They were caught in a dangerous rip current at a Florida beach. It's a story that could have ended much worse, and it shows how dangerous rip currents can be for beachgoers who aren't careful.
I saw many people in distress fighting for their life.
Mariano Martinez was off duty in Florida last Saturday when he got an alert and an emergency app on his phone about swimmers in distress on Lido Beach.
When you have 7 people in the same moment, in the same place, and you have their life in your hand, it's hard.
Martinez grabbing his gear, which he says he always keeps in his car. He raced with his rescue tube in hand straight to the water that had dangerous rip currents following an earlier storm. The swimmers were swept 200 yards into the Gulf of Mexico.
I think that the hard part is recognizing where these things are. Oftentimes, if you're not trained to see them and locate them, you don't realize that you're in them.
That rescue happening just days after a mom and dad of 6 drowned after being swept out by a rip current while vacationing in Hutchinson Island, Florida. Experts say in 2023, there were reportedly 90 rip current fatalities in the U.S. And in 2024 so far, 11 drownings, 8 of them all happening in Florida, and all just this month.
All right, time now, 8:07. It's 81 degrees outside. Now, a lot of folks are planning to travel for 4th of July weekend. We'll take a look at some ways to make your trip on the road or on the air a smooth ride. And now we're taking a live look at live cam. It is bright and sunny out there, and it will be a beautiful day. Sarah Spivey will have our forecast in just a couple minutes. Travelers could set a record this 4th of July holiday. The TSA says it's expecting to screen 32 million people in the U.S. through July 8th. That's more than a 5% increase from last year. Meanwhile, AAA says nearly 80 million Americans will travel more than 50 miles from home, with 85% of them on the roads. Now, here on the local level, if you're traveling for 4th of July this week, about 6 million Texans will be hitting the road along with you. So let's take a look ahead to help you plan your trip. First up, AAA says roads are going to be congested from Thursday, July 4th, all the way to next Sunday. To beat the traffic, they recommend you hit the road early in the morning to avoid peak traffic around 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the 4th. Now, AAA also says the price for gas is going to be around $3.14 a gallon this week in Bexar County. That's about the same as it was last year. It's also below the national average of around $3.50 a gallon. And of course, you could always stay right here in town for the 4th of July. There'll be plenty to do here in the Alamo City and across South Texas to celebrate. We're talking about parades, music, and of course, the fireworks. The city of San Antonio's 4th of July celebration at Woodlawn Lake will be open to the public from 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. on July 4th. For a full list of 4th of July celebrations in our area, just head on over to KSAT.com. And of course, plenty of you are going to be flying out for your 4th of July festivities or for any other vacations this summer. In fact, hundreds of thousands of you are expected to take flights this year. As Katrina Weber shows us, San Antonio International Airport is expecting them and offering advice for how to make it a smooth trip.
We're going to Cancun. We're excited.
Going back home to Atlanta, my second home.
Vegas, baby.
Their destinations may be different, but the journey is the same, at least for anyone whose summer travel plans pass through San Antonio's airport.
We're expecting it to be busy.
Those expectations are already coming true. The airport just saw a year of record-breaking crowds with no signs of slowing down anytime soon.
TSA is expecting from this Saturday till the Sunday after the 4th of July to see over 300,000 passengers.
Please have the IDs and the boarding passes out and ready.
To keep yourself from slowing down, the airport now recommends arriving 2 hours before boarding time for domestic flights, 3 hours for international.
Actually, I'm running a little behind, I think, but my flight boards at 11:40.
Stephanie B. got the memo. Still, she fell behind. Luckily, the security line was moving quickly.
This airport has been pretty simple, but it's full of people, so get here early.
Another thing to factor in would be the time it takes to find a place to park, especially during peak travel times. It may be best to have someone drop you off.
It was a lot of people, so we have to go to the back parking, and we went around a couple of times.
Driving in caused the Bravo family to cut it close for their Cancun flight.
We go every year. And I think this is the busiest it's been.
The biggest thing is just give yourself plenty of time. You don't want to rush it.
With a little work, vacation time can get off to a smooth start. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
And you know, Daniela, I'm glad we're talking about travel for the 4th of July holiday because it's toward the end of the weekend into the weekend that people are really going to want to pay attention to the weather locally, whether you're flying or traveling, because after July 4th, there's the potential that we'll have a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. So there's a lot to pay attention to. Let's start, though, first with that hurricane. Can you spot it? It's easy to spot on the satellite. It's that characteristic swirl with an eye, and Hurricane Beryl has strengthened rapidly just within the last couple of hours. There's that eye, one of the characteristic ways to see that a hurricane is gaining its strength and maintaining its circulation. Hurricane Beryl, now a Category 3 hurricane, a major Category 3 hurricane with winds sustained at 115 miles per hour. Let me take you through the path of Hurricane Beryl. Hurricane Beryl will be impacting the Windward Islands, Bermuda later on today and strengthening as a Category 4 hurricane. Then it's going to head into the Caribbean, potentially impacting the Jamaica area by Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. And then it'll even impact potentially the Yucatan Peninsula, including Cancun, by Thursday night, Friday morning. So July 4th, and then Friday morning, July 5th. Beyond July 5th, the path of Hurricane Beryl remains very uncertain. There's a lot of factors that will go into where Beryl will head, if and how it interacts with land over the Yucatan Peninsula, and the gradual steering flow of the atmosphere above. So there are so many different possibilities of where Beryl can go once the storm enters the Gulf of Mexico. One of those possibilities is impacting the eastern Mexican coast. Another possibility is impacting along the Texas coast, anywhere from South Padre all the way up to Houston and even into Louisiana. All of these are possible depending on how it interacts with land and the steering flow of the atmosphere. And this far out, we still just do not have a certain look at what it's going to look like in the Gulf of Mexico. So after July 5th, is where we have the highest uncertainty, and we will continue to keep you posted. Please continue to check back in with us. I know a lot of people are traveling for the 4th of July week. Let's get you through your day today. Outside right now, those clouds are starting to break up. It's 81 degrees, feeling like 88. So it already feels like it's close to 90 degrees because of the high humidity. And temperatures are generally in the upper 70s, 77 in Bernie, 77 in Bulverde, 80 in Rio Medina, 78 in Tarpley, 80 in Seguin. Good morning, New Braunfels. It's 81 degrees. And here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast this Sunday. Mostly cloudy this morning, but we'll be seeing skies gradually clear. 90 degrees at noon, feeling already like it's in the triple digits in the early afternoon. 98 for the high, feeling like 105. Southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour, not as breezy as yesterday. Okay, let's take a look at neighborhood highs. 102 in Del Rio, so even hotter out closer to the west. 98 in New Braunfels, 96 in Kerrville, but it's all about the heat index, what it feels like in the peak heat of the day. As you're doing your grocery shopping, it's going to feel really hot, feeling like 105 to 110. So yesterday we actually hit 100 degrees. That's our 9th 100-degree day of the year so far. On average, there's 18 in a year, so we're already halfway through that, and we're not even halfway through the summer yet, so we'll probably beat the average. But hopefully we won't come close to last year when we got up to 75 100-degree days, the most on record. And by this time last year, we are slightly behind last year, 9 versus 12. So
I'm
something
glad
to consider. Yeah, we're probably going to add a couple more, if not at least one more in the next 7 days to that triple-digit tally. And for the 4th of July itself, 98 for the high, not really seeing any rain chances on the 4th of July, and then watching the tropics after the 5th.
All right, Sarah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, on this last day of Pride Month, we take a look back at the generation that started the gay rights movement and catch up on how they're doing in their later years. Today's the last day of Pride Month, and while many have been spending June celebrating Pride, it's important not to forget the older generations of LGBTQ Americans. They're the ones who got Pride started all those years ago. Many of them are facing challenges in their senior years, but ABC's Morgan Norwood shows us one organization making sure the Stonewall generation is well taken care of.
Gays fight back! Gays fight back!
The young generation that led the charge at Stonewall in New York City in 1969, setting off the gay rights movement, are now seniors with a new set of burdens. SAGE, the country's largest and oldest organization aimed at improving the lives of LGBTQ seniors, has been working hard since 1978 to give these civil rights pioneers a much-needed hand up.
Historically, same-sex couples were denied the right to any form of relationship recognition, including things like pension benefits, retirement benefits, Social Security, survivor benefits. That did change almost a decade ago now with marriage and the recognition of marriage equality. But the change came too late for many elders now.
And financial distress isn't the only hardship they face. Data from the U.S. Census Bureau shows that LGBTQ elders 65 and up are more likely to suffer from anxiety and depression than their straight peers. This is because they're more likely to live in isolation, have inadequate health care, and often fear discrimination in senior facilities because of their sexuality or gender identity. The good news is there are many who are flourishing despite these disparities. Bill Meehan, a former Roman Catholic priest, says the most important decision he made was living in his own truth.
It came out that I was gay, and my order was not exactly thrilled with that. They wanted me to go away for a little bit of therapy, what would have been today's conversion therapy, and I said, no, I don't think so. That's not for me. And so I left.
Bill set out on a new path, but as he got older, the rising cost of rent was pricing him out of his Queens, New York neighborhood. And that's when he came across Stonewall House in Brooklyn, an LGBTQ-friendly senior living facility that provides subsidized housing to those with lower incomes. And Bill was lucky enough to win his place through a housing lottery.
And so my rent went from $1,900 down to $620. So it enabled me to live without worry about the rent.
But the demand for LGBTQ-friendly housing is far outpacing the supply. According to SAGE, there are only 31 affordable living facilities across 14 states and Washington, D.C. However, thanks to senior community spaces like the SAGE Center at Stonewall House, seniors can come together in fellowship. For Barbara Abrams, it's a home away from home, which for SAGE is mission accomplished.
They're like your family because they show you love. People actually waving to say, see you tomorrow. That feels great.
Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
All right, your time now is 8:25. It's 81 degrees right now. In your next half hour, what's old is new again, both in fashion and in buildings. Coming up, we'll show you why the city is using recycled building materials for new construction projects. And while the prices of food continue to rise overall, some of your grocery store essentials are actually seeing a drop in price. Marilyn Moritz has the numbers coming up. Good morning, I'm Daniela Ibarra. It's 8:30 on this Sunday, June 30th.
Good morning. So happy to have you here with us this morning, Daniela, filling in for Sarah. Bright and early this morning. So regularly, what's your morning routine?
On a Sunday?
Yeah, on a Sunday, when you're not working.
I would still be asleep. I'd probably be awake, or I try to be awake around 11, and that's like
too late for me.
Are you a breakfast person or a wait until lunch person?
I wait until lunch. I'm not a big breakfast person.
Just maybe some coffee.
Maybe. I do protein shakes. So
Well,
I'm
there
trying to be
you
healthy,
go.
So
Protein shakes, you know, that counts as breakfast.
But it's
in my
birthday
mind.
cake flavored, so I think it's like I'll pretend it's a milkshake.
Sounds good. That's a great way to start your Sunday. Well, outside, this is a look last night at the beautiful sunset from last night. This picture sent in to us by Taylor McClelland on KSAT Connect. Vibrant in color because of that haze on the horizon with the Saharan dust. And Saharan dust, I do want to touch on it briefly here. It is out there, but more so in a light to moderate plume at the moment. It will become slightly more dense tomorrow before thinning out by the middle of the week. And just a reminder that this happens every year. Saharan dust, it's lofted way up high into the atmosphere, and so it just causes a haze on the horizon. Every now and then, if the plume is particularly dense, it can cause issues with allergies. But the good news is, air quality is just fine. It's just one step below good, which happens a lot around San Antonio. It's only when we see that plume get a bit more dense that it could become unhealthy for those that are sensitive to it. Speaking of stuff in the air, let's talk about the pollen count. Molds are down, way down from yesterday. They were high. They're now only low at 490. Pigweed and grass are present, but in low amounts as well. So this week in San Antonio is all about the heat. Heat index 105 to 110, including today. Dry, no major rain chances through the 4th of July and including the 4th of July. But I do want to spend some time here during the full forecast talking about the tropics, because we are going to be watching Hurricane Beryl very closely. Hurricane Beryl is now a Category 3 hurricane affecting the Caribbean, but beyond the 4th of July, it will probably enter into the Gulf of Mexico, and that's where we have some questions. So we'll give you an update on Hurricane Beryl coming up in just a bit. Daniela.
All right, sounds good, Sarah. Thank you. A man is dead this morning after a shooting on the west side. San Antonio police say a man in his 40s went door knocking and was asked to leave several times at a home near Allende Drive between Old Highway 90 West and Castro Hill Road. The homeowner heard noises in the backyard and went to check it out. That's when police say he was met with the man he asked to leave. The homeowner then said the man lunged at him and he shot the man in the stomach. Police are still investigating the shooting. It's unclear at the moment if the homeowner will be facing any charges. A new San Antonio program is hoping to reduce, reuse, and recycle construction waste in our landfill. In 2022, City Council started requiring certain demolition projects to be deconstructed instead of demolished. Our Patty Santos has been tracking the ordinance and found out how some of this recycled material is being used.
This might be an old home, but the materials that make it are still solid and strong.
Because it is that old growth lumber, and so it's much stronger wood in general. Each of these doors were
Shannon Miller, director of the Office of Historic Preservation, oversees the city's deconstruction and circular economy program. First started in 2022, the city has already collected about 25,000 pounds of high-end quality material from historic homes that could have ended up in the landfill.
One historic building may come down, but that material can be used to extend the life of other historic buildings.
So far, the city has used that wood on community projects, affordable housing, and rehab projects.
And that is really intended to prevent this high-quality material from going to the landfill.
The city is also working with UTSA architecture students to find new ways to use it.
And that's really about reuse and reimagining and doing as much as we can with material before it ends its life. And that helps us reduce, as a community, our dependence on new material, and also helps us manage what's going into the waste stream.
That was Patty Santos reporting. All right, so if you're a big podcast person, listen up. A comedian and one of the biggest podcast stars in the world is coming here to the Alamo City. Joe Rogan in concert is coming to the Majestic Theater in August. An Instagram post by Rogan on Friday said a couple of other comedians, Ron White and Tony Hinchcliffe, will be tagging along as well. Rogan is a Texas-based comedian, podcaster, and UFC commentator. He's performed several stand-up comedy. He's performed stand-up for over 30 years, and Rogan takes the stage on August 3rd at 8 p.m. You can find ticket information on KSAT.com. All right, taking a look at some consumer news, X has announced it will start charging for live streaming. Prices start at $3 a month, and only premium subscribers will be able to go live. This makes X the only major platform to charge for live streaming.
And Spotify is launching a new basic plan at $10.99 per month, just $1 less than premium. This new plan offers ad-free music, but drops the 15 monthly hours of audiobook listening. Now, the move comes after the company raised prices on its premium tier to $11.99 per month. Taking a look at your consumer news this morning, are we finally seeing relief at the grocery store checkout? For the past 3.5 years, 12 on our sides, Marilyn Moritz has tracked the prices of the same grocery items. And while some prices are still on the rise, some items are seeing some much needed relief.
All right, it's going to be $48.10.
Checking out is still adding up.
Everything has gone up. There's nothing that is inexpensive anymore.
When you're paying, $6.99 a pound for ground beef, that's a lot.
But it's not just the beef for your burgers.
Like on condiments, because I have a 3-year-old, so got ketchup going on here, and it's also like $4 on ketchup, and it's just like a lot.
She's not wrong. We crunched the numbers on the same 47 groceries for curbside pickup and found the same cart that cost $198 at the end of 2020 now costs nearly $266, 34% more.
But hold on, there is relief at the register. Compared to 1 year ago, our total is still up, but only by about 2.5%. Our receipt shows foodflation has slowed. Have you noticed the price of anything coming down yet?
No. No.
We did. Since last June, our bread costs dropped 11%. Soaring mayonnaise prices turned around, down 9%, and potatoes down 33%. Food economists say prices should keep easing up. Good news after inflation's big bite. Take a look at these numbers. Since we first started tracking prices 3.5 years ago, breakfast is costing more. Oatmeal up 57%, eggs 8%. Bacon is up 13%, OJ will squeeze you an extra 36%, and your morning coffee, it's up 46%. And a couple of stunners. Coca-Cola is up 75% since 2020, and olive oil up a whopping 85%. One thing is cheaper than 3 years ago, so kids, eat your spinach. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
All right, it's 8:37 on this Sunday morning. Temperature is 81 degrees outside. Floresville woman is showing everyone that it's never too late to follow your dreams. Still ahead, we'll show you how she published her first book at 91 years old. And we're taking a live look outside with live camera right now. It's nice and sunny, a couple clouds right there. Sarah Spivey will be joining us in a couple minutes for your forecast. And as we get closer to the 4th of July, it's about time to start stocking up on fireworks. Here's a live look at Mr. W Fireworks over on the northeast side. It's just one of a number of stands where you can get your fireworks. Remember that it's illegal to set off fireworks inside city limits, and always be careful when handling them. Today, we celebrate a special Floresville grandmother who's sending an inspiring message to her community. Never give up on your dreams, no matter how old you are. At 91 years old, she just published her first book. San Antonio Lives, or SA Lives, Jen Tobias Drusky chats with Julia Castro and her family.
For over a decade, Julia Castro has written about the stories of her past.
I hardly sleep at night because I think about the past, and I think about my childhood, my youth, how different it was back then.
Now the 91-year-old is living out her dream, becoming a published author in her new book, Apple Pie and Salsa, a collection of her articles that she hopes will be passed down for generations. After all, mother of 10, grandmother of 39, and great-grandmother of 67.
Well, I'm just glad that I always had the support of my family, my kids.
While she spent 25 years working at the Floresville Head Start, retirement meant it was time for a new chapter.
And then when she finally retired from that, she goes, well, now I have time. Maybe I can start writing my stories.
Back when she used to talk about wanting to write, I was eager to help her get to that point. And with the Wilson County News, I thought, well, that would be the perfect, avenue to go.
And so, at the age of 75, Julia became a reoccurring columnist in the Wilson County News. Each article was handwritten.
Handwriting.
So she would write and do like a rough draft, and then once she had made all her corrections, she would rewrite it, and then they would type it up at the Wilson County News.
And when we first started, like I said, he was like, wow, Mom's actually gonna write a story. That's gonna be great. And it got to the point where like it's like, as soon as the article came out, we wanted to read it. And it's like, wow, you got a lot of stories last night. Like I said, we started storing them in the garage, and it was like stacking up, and it's like, and we can't keep up with it because she just keeps writing.
It was more for myself, but I'm glad I kept those stories.
And I was there with her when she met with them for the first time, and to realize that this is finally happening, it was so heartwarming to know that she's finally going to get to do what she does. And then she started doing it and kept doing it, and I would hear from people like, oh, I read your mom's article, it was so great. And I think some of the family members were a little embarrassed that she was writing about us. And so sometimes she'd have to get permission.
So year after year, stories were shared. Some included memories about Easter baskets her mother would make out of oatmeal boxes, or childhood nicknames from her school days.
Some of the stories I didn't know. Some about her friends or people that she would write about, because it's not only family, it's a lot of people here in the community.
Why was it important to you to share these stories?
Because things are so different now than they were back in my days. So I wanted to share that. I don't know that it was any better, but it was different. It was very different.
And then even after that, after she stopped writing, she did, always talk about wanting to have a book.
And now she does. Apple Pie and Salsa is available for purchase, and Julia even did a book signing this month in Floresville. Many of those stories are about her loved ones, and here with us today, they couldn't stop expressing how proud they are of their matriarch.
To see my grandma at 91 years old become a published author, that's inspiring. It's never too late to do something you're passionate about, and I think she's a good example of that. She's had that passion in her heart and soul for so long, and her taking action on it is really inspiring to see.
The community has embraced Julia and her writing skills. Wilson County also gave her a proclamation this month recognizing her contributions to Floresville.
I didn't think of it being published. I just wanted to put it down in writing so my kids and grandkids would know what I lived through. It wasn't especially about being published, but it came to that. So
all this attention that's just come naturally to her is just a blessing, because I feel like everyone should experience my grandma in some way or another.
For SA Live, I'm Jen Tobias-Drusky.
Okay, Sarah, so you're going to love this. If you're wondering why she titled her book Apple Pie and Salsa, Castro says her life is as American as apple pie and as Latina as salsa. Oh. Yeah. You can share this story with your friends and family. Just scan that QR code on your screen or visit salive.com.
Well, thank you so much, Jen, for bringing us that wonderful story. A nice story for Sunday morning, I think.
I know, it's a good feel-good story.
Now, just ignore the fact that it's going to be really hot today. Yeah. Keep that feel-good feeling going. That is the big story for this week, is that the heat is still going to be 105 to 110. That's what the humidity is going to make it feel like out there with the heat index. And unfortunately, it is going to be dry. So no major rain chances through the 4th of July. But what I want to start with this morning is I want to start with the tropics, because we are going to be watching Hurricane Beryl very closely beyond the 4th of July. Here's a look at the satellite right now. As the sun rose over Hurricane Beryl, you can see that the eye of the hurricane formed in the overnight hours. There it is, a very clear eye, an indication of it strengthening. And it is heading to the Windward Islands and Bermuda as a Category 3 hurricane right now, with winds sustained at 115 miles per hour. Beryl will strengthen even more into a Category 4 hurricane later on today and into the overnight hours, impacting the Windward Islands. Then it will enter into the Caribbean, potentially impacting areas close to Jamaica, parts of coastal Haiti and the Dominican Republic as a Category 3 hurricane late Tuesday into Wednesday. And then by Thursday night and Friday, it will likely be right over the Yucatan Peninsula, including areas like Cancun. Now, it's still to be seen yet if Cancun is directly impacted by Beryl, but it is something that we'll be paying a lot of attention to because as Beryl gets toward the Yucatan Peninsula, it is likely going to re-enter into the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. But beyond July 5th, beyond Friday, there are an abundance of possibilities of where Beryl can go. It depends on how much it interacts with the land. It also depends on what the steering flow of the atmosphere is going to be. And these things this far out are difficult to know. So beyond July 5th, I really want you to pay very close attention to the tropical portion of our forecast, because any one of these three paths is going to be possible. Anywhere from the coast of Mexico here, all of the coast of Mexico, eastern coast of Mexico for that matter, and all of the coast of Texas. It could be anywhere from the South Padre Islands all the way up to Houston, Port Arthur, even into parts of Louisiana. Every single of these options is possible depending on how it interacts with the land and the steering flow of the atmosphere. We will keep you posted. Right now, there's many uncertainties after July 5th. But one thing that is certain is that the waters of the Gulf of Mexico are very warm, which acts as fuel for storms, tropical storms. Water surface temperature is at about 84, 85 degrees right now, abnormally warm for this time of year. There's other atmospheric features like wind shear that can end up weakening a system, so we'll keep you posted. It's currently in the 80s right now in San Antonio, feeling already like it's 90 degrees. By noon, it'll be 90, feeling like 100. In the afternoon, 98, feeling like 105, and it is going to be a hot day all around. A degree or two, quote unquote, cooler than yesterday, but still very hot. 102 in Del Rio, 98 in San Antonio. But here's the kicker. Ouch, the heat index value going to be 105 in San Antonio because of the humidity, but anywhere from 105 to 110 across the KSAT 12 viewing area. Only a 10% chance for a stray shower today. Otherwise, we'll probably add on to the triple-digit tally once or twice in the week ahead. July 4th, 98 for the high. Hot, humid, no rain on the 4th of July. And then beyond Friday, we're going to be watching the tropics very closely, Daniela, and we will update you every day on Hurricane Beryl.
Great, sounds good. Definitely want to blast your AC this week if you're already on.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I set it to 78 when I leave, but when I get back, it's like 73.
That's how I am.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Well, the time now is 8:51 this morning. It is 81 degrees outside, but like Sarah said, it feels way hotter than that right now. And we're taking a look around San Antonio right now on TransGuide. We're looking at I-10 at Probant right now, looking pretty light out there right now.
I do know that there is some construction, 10 and 1604.
Yes.
We've got more information on that right now on KSAT.com. Yeah, so even though there are 3 allergens in the pollen count, it actually looks pretty good because yesterday molds were high past 1,500. Now they're low at 490. Pigweed and grass are low too. Looking at your 7-day forecast, today 98 for the high, feeling like 105 to 110. We're going to be close to 100 every single day next week, including the holiday, 4th of July on Thursday. As I just mentioned, it's beyond Friday that we really want to watch the tropics, as Hurricane Beryl will likely be somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico at that point, and we will keep everyone posted. So even though it's hot, even though the weather's pretty mundane, there is something to be paying attention to later on in the week. And it's been great to have you with us this morning, Daniela.
I know, it's been so much fun. You made me feel very comfortable, so I appreciate it.
Oh, well, of course.
So, yeah.
Have a great morning, everyone.